Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, March 16th, 2018. Welcome to another eBay video. As you can see, it's another cloudy, cold day. And we still have last week's snow on the ground. You can probably see that in the background. It is approximately 32 degrees right now. It's cold, and there is absolutely no sun in our forecast. It has been this way for the last 2 weeks. 3 nor'easters in less than 2 weeks, and another storm may hit us next Tuesday and Wednesday. It's unprecedented. In today's video, we're going to talk more about eBay returns. You guys had a lot of good comments in last week's video, and I want to go over some of them today. We're also going to talk more about some things that have been bothering you guys, eBay related, some troubles you've been having. So let's get right into it. As usual, we're going to start with your comments, questions, and returns from last week's video. Regarding returns, Rubber Wilbur wrote, Joe, regarding the lady who sent back the special hub, just remember when they start asking questions and making special requests, block them and ignore them. Remember, the buyers you want are like ghosts. They're there, but they're not seen or heard. Don't chase these nuisance buyers. I've regretted it every time. All right, a couple of comments about that. Do you guys ever notice that some people like to send you questions through the eBay contact system in the middle of the night? I had one, and it really reflects on Rubber Wilbur's comment here. It's not unusual for me to get comments in the middle of the night, especially because a lot of people are on the West Coast. So if let's say they send me a question at 10 o'clock their time, it's 1 o'clock my time, and I'm already in bed. So over the weekend, I got a question through the eBay contact system at about 3 o'clock in the morning my time. A guy wanted to know if certain hubs would fit his vehicle. Of course, I'm sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning. 10 minutes later, he contacts me again saying, like, why aren't you answering me? I mean, come on, really, it's 3 o'clock in the freaking morning. So I got up the next day, and I said to him, the reason I didn't contact you back, it's 3 o'clock in the freaking morning. I am on the East Coast. I answered his question positively, saying yes, they will fit, this and that. He then starts a litany of questions writing back to me, and I knew, like Rubber Wilbur said, that no good could come of this. So rather than disappoint the buyer, what I simply did was I went onto eBay and I looked for a similar item like I was selling. And I did find one. Okay, the price was a little bit more. So I wrote to the guy and said, I have found the same items from another seller, and they're even in better condition. Check these out. And I sent him the link. And he wrote back to me and said, no, they're no good. They will not fit my car. When I know for a fact they will fit his car. What can you do? All right? Sometimes you just have to walk away, like Rubber Wilbur said. 5797029, Mike wrote, another good video today. I always look forward to 7 p.m. on Fridays. Knowing that eBay doesn't always back us sellers up, I gave into a scammer this morning. Last night I left feedback for a shirt that had been delivered on the 7th. I woke up to a message from the buyer saying he didn't receive it. Tracking showed it was delivered to the mailbox in a large apartment complex. I messaged that the mailman probably put it in the wrong box. Fast forward, after a few back and forths, he didn't want any excuses and pretty much demanded I resolve it right now, or he was opening a case with eBay, PayPal, and his bank to tie up the funds. Then threatened to mess up my feedback on top of that. $23 made this go away. I then called eBay and spoke to a specialist. The best eBay could offer was to look into removing a negative if I got one. That is why I decided to pay the ransom. What do you think? Mike, I gotta be honest with you, I would not have done it that way. When the tracking shows that the item is delivered to the person's residence, you're off the hook. I would have immediately called eBay and said, look, it shows that the item was delivered to the person's residence. It is the buyer's responsibility to have a legit and valid place to receive their eBay items. All right? You, sir, would have been protected in that case. It has happened to me before. I have had experiences before where people open cases against me saying item not received. And the tracking clearly showed it was received. eBay sided with me, closed the case in my favor, and therefore the guy can't leave you any negative feedback. And the fact that he threatened to leave you negative feedback is feedback extortion. I really think you made a mistake on this one, Mike, but that's just my opinion. Also on returns, Rick Mayer. Great show as usual, Joe. I have brought up this topic before. Another buyer just opened a return on a $16 item stating, I no longer want the item. eBay automatically accepted the return, while I do not accept automatic returns. Don't you know the buyer never returned the item? Another fishy buyer looking to get the item for free, thinking I would let them keep the item and give a full refund. Now the idiot buyer should have filed a not as described. I would have still sent the item back, in which case they seldom do send the item back. Please keep up the good work, Joe, as I look forward to your show. Okay, 2 points there. The item was $16. I avoid selling anything really cheap on eBay for this reason exactly. But even when I do get a return request, even if I have to pay the shipping back, I will pay it back. I never let anybody keep anything like that. And it's like Rick said, sometimes people think they're just going to scam the system. In my opinion, I agree with them. I do think this person was a fishy buyer. Alan Mayer wrote, Joe, your experience with the master cylinder buyer is exactly what I ran into with my Bose speaker buyer. Liar. Fishy buyer returns perfectly good item, claiming defective to get a full free refund. We had the same experience with eBay and the too bad, that's life, live with it attitude. That is really what has me fuming with eBay, far more than the spring seller update, where free return shipping is simply not an option for the audio equipment I sell, and I'll just have to live without the TRS discount for items I list, which are very few at this point. My other true unhappiness is the new function of just showing one item when doing a search, which I'm pretty sure you don't have happening over in eBay Motors. I'm not quite sure what you mean about that, showing the one item. Are you referring to the Amazon type scenario where they show you one item? But like you said, in eBay Motors, I haven't experienced that. On a cancellation, D. Kelly wrote in, just had a good one. Buyer purchases an item, then asked to cancel after I printed the label. He doesn't accept his own request, so it's still pending, then opens an item not received. I call eBay and they tell me not to refund on the not received case because then the buyer would accept his cancellation and double his money. You would think that he would not be able to open both a cancel and not received case. Hope all is great. There is no excuse for that kind of thing. I know nothing about coding, okay? But somewhere along the line, somebody's not keeping up to date, all right? There is no way a person should be able to open both cases at one time when the item hasn't even been shipped yet. It's just crazy. Get a Job wrote, and this is regarding those sponsored listings we all hate at the bottom of our completed listings or sometimes current listings. Yes, I just looked at the links on the bottom of my active listings. There are at least 5 links to other sellers' items that have similar titles. What's up, eBay? Am I not good enough for you? At the very bottom of my dog coat listing, there are 6 other links, as if the buyer is that dumb that they don't know how to search for an item. More to explore: fleece, dog, raincoats, gray fleece coats and jackets for women, fleece dog coats, jackets, Herta fleece dog coats, jackets, fleece waterproof dog coats, etc. One was about fleece coats for women and a dog related item that I listed. I guess women and dogs are the same thing. I don't know. I don't know why they do that. I don't think it's right, and I don't condone it at all. Helen Gerhardt wrote, "Thanks, Joe. Brian Burke came to our meetup last month, and he was great. Our meetup leader has been trying to get someone from Amazon also. After 6 weeks of many calls and not one return call, he gave up. Compared to Amazon, eBay is like a kindly grandmother." Alan Wilkes wrote about returns. "Joe, absolutely eBay should have allowed a partial refund, also on auto parts, a restocking fee, because as you know, people will guess at their solution for the problem and without fail want to stick it to you, the retailer, with the cost of the failed diagnosis. Why? Because you have the money back and you can afford it. Fitchy, fitchy, fitchy." I sell mainly in eBay Motors, as you know, and I do get quite a few returns as a rule. As I told you a couple of weeks ago, I have started something, a little experiment that seems to be working very well. It involves feedback. You may remember about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I told you guys I had left bulk feedback one night, about 100 feedbacks, and lickety-split, as soon as I left all those feedbacks, the returns started coming in. It's like some people wait to get the feedback before doing the return, or some people get the feedback and it reminds them that they want to do a return. That's my hypothesis. So I decided 3 or 4 weeks ago not to ever leave bulk feedback again. I know there are a lot of you guys who insist on only leaving positive feedback when you receive positive feedback. There's quite a few of you out there, and I really fought doing that for the longest time, but it's come to the point that I'm going to have to join your ranks. I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry. I mean, get this. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I told you I left all those positive feedbacks and got burned with a big bunch of returns. I have not left bulk feedback since that day. Do you know how many feedbacks I've had? I'm sorry. Do you know how many returns I've had in the last week or two? One. One measly return. And the guy still hasn't returned the item. He purchased an item for $40 plus $20 shipping. The item was described in beater condition. He got the item, kept it about a week, and instead of opening a return request, he contacted me through eBay message and said, "I wanna return the item." W-A-N-N-A. I wanna return the item. Unbelievable. Now, if he does return the item, he's going to have to pay the $20 shipping back to me. The item was only $40 to start with, all right? So he paid $20 shipping to get it. He's going to pay $20 shipping back to me. Do you see my point? I want to return the item. W-A-N-N-A. Also, a plus. In the last few weeks, I have noticed not only my returns have gone down, but my feedback rate has gone up, oddly enough, because I'm not leaving it. So I have received quite a few positive feedbacks this week. The other day, my feedback hit 11,111, all ones. Let me see if I have a screenshot of that. There we go, 11,111 feedbacks. Yay! So basically my point there is no more bulk feedback for Joey. I'm done. I will leave positive feedback as I get it. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it's going. Continuing on with your comments, questions, and concerns from last week, John Estock wrote, "I think everyone with the last name of Fitch gave you a thumbs down. Still want to see a video about USPS getting money through eBay on packages that are underweighed. eBay said we would get money back for overpayment, but that hasn't happened." John, all the thumbs down on last week's video came from one person named Fitch, who has many, many fake multiple YouTube channels. And as far as getting money back for overpayment, believe it or not, that happened to me once. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I got a letter, a contact through eBay messages, that said I had overpaid about $1.26 on a particular item and they were giving me a refund. So it did happen one time, for what it's worth. ZXC said, "It looks like you have some fishy buyers at your physical store as well. I'm not at all surprised that eBay sided with the buyer on the master cylinder filled with oil. They'll all say it's part of doing business." Just to rehash on that master cylinder, that did not happen to me. It happened to a friend of mine in one of the Facebook groups, and I related it here in the video. But it did bring a lot of interesting comments. Flip This stated, "Also, do not buy from a China seller. Pay the extra and support your own country's sellers." I so agree with him on that. I can look you guys in the face right now, and tell you I've been on eBay for 19 years as a buyer and seller, and I have never once bought from a China seller. Keep the money right here in America. And anybody that does buy from a China seller and gets burned, too bad. London Michael wrote, "Joe, I'm proud of you for making these honest videos. I'm getting tired of some other eBay YouTubers who are in bed with eBay and getting their marching orders from eBay. Keep up the good work. Thanks." Although I'm a very big eBay fan and I suggest everybody sell on eBay, as you know, when I feel something's not right, I will speak up about it and I will scream it from a mountaintop. I have been known as a straight shooter. I think everybody watching these videos knows that I'm a straight shooter. If something's not working right, I will speak up about it. Mr. Miyagi wrote, "This comment is for people who work at eBay. Want to know how you can help eBay sellers? Lower fees from time to time and offer more promotions. You need to be catering to sellers in every way possible. Directly call out Amazon on how they treat their sellers, much like Wendy's called out McDonald's is not using fresh beef. A good competitive nature in business is good for everyone, but in the long run, the buyers and the sellers ultimately win." I would like to see a spate of commercials where eBay would say something like, "Buy on eBay," where it's the friendly atmosphere as opposed to the Amazon atmosphere where you float down the river in a puddle of mud, or something like that. SD Coins and Collectibles wrote, "Joe, big fan here. I know you said your email address on one of your videos, but I can't seem to find it. I have a rather long question and I thought it would be easier to email you. Many thanks." I'm glad he asked that. If you need to contact me, and you don't want to put it in the comment section below, if you want to contact me personally, my email address is crazynydriver@aol.com. All right? crazynydriver@aol.com. That is the only email I will accept messages on. So if you have an eBay problem and you want to contact me, that's the email to use. It may take me a day or two to respond, especially on the weekends, but I guarantee you I respond to every single email. Do not contact me any other way through my eBay store or my Facebook business page. I don't reply. That's for doing business and making money, because I have to eke out a living too, just like you guys do. All right? It's only fair. It's only being considerate. All right. A couple of more and we'll get to some new material. Mousy Pluta Prestige wrote, "You should make a fat, fitchy snowman." Well, sir, all snowmen that are fitchy, by definition, are going to be fat. And we do have ample snow that falls in this area that I can actually do that, but I really don't have the time, you know. But I thought it was a kind of a funny comment anyway. And the last comment, Kat Galan wrote, "Okay, everybody, you heard what Joe said. Don't be fitchy." my new tagline. So yeah, so let's talk about eBay, the week that was and what went down. But first, a drink from the Fox News Cup of Life. Okay, new material, returns. Somebody sent me a link, and I might put it in the description box below if I can find it, that there are certain stores, Best Buy, Home Depot, etc., are instituting a limit on returns. Whereas if a certain customer is deemed to be returning too many items, the store, in this case Best Buy, will actually bar them from doing any more returns. It is a growing trend in certain retail stores, and I found the article to be quite interesting. So if I can dig that article up that someone sent me the other day, I will put it in the description box below. It actually flies against what eBay is doing. eBay is promoting, as you know, free returns, and they love 60-day free returns. As I've told you in previous videos, I will not be opting into free returns, okay? Because I am selling in eBay Motors, and it would not work for me. I would never be able to absorb the cost of free returns. Impossible in eBay Motors. But luckily, eBay Motors is exempt from being made to offer free returns. So I have that going for me. Sales this week were good. I noticed a trend once again, and somebody mentioned it on Facebook the other day, whereas in, let's say, 1 or 2 hours, I may get 6 or 7 sales, and then I'll go 10 or 11 straight hours with no sales. Have you guys noticed that? I call it the shotgun effect because, like I said, rapid fire sales within 1 or 2 hours, and then bang, you're off. It's something I've noticed on and off for quite a while on eBay. But the sales still come in, they just come in at a very, very unpredictable rate. So could you guys tell me, do you notice the shotgun effect in your eBay sales? Comment that below if you would. I don't know how many of you guys follow eBay for Business, but once a week on Wednesday afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, eBay for Business goes live on Facebook and on Periscope. I always watch the broadcast on one or the other. So this Wednesday I happened to be on Facebook and the live event came on and I watched it. And I was very happy and thankful to see that Brian Burke was a guest, and he actually gave me a shout out. He gave Crazy New York Driver a shout out on the video. So again, if I can find that, I will put that link in the description box below too. And it's good if you guys are available at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays, because during the live event, you can type in your questions live to eBay for Business or any problems you're having, and they can answer your questions live on the air right then and there. I have to be honest with you folks, I am freezing out here. So I'm going to bring this video to an end right now. And of course, you guys are welcome to comment anything you want eBay related, any problems you're having, any questions, comments, or concerns you're having. A brief rehash and I'll let you guys go. Do you have any comments on returns, free returns? Have you noticed you get more feedback when you do not leave feedback first? Because it sounds weird, but that's what's been happening to me. Do you have any questions you want to ask eBay related? One thing you all should know, and I think you all know this, is I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. I come out here each week and I do these eBay videos in the freezing cold, in the cloudy, snowy weather, to help you guys try and succeed on eBay. If you think I'm doing a good job and I'm helping you, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm appreciated and I'm doing a good job. If you're a fishy seller, you could leave me a thumbs down. or If you don't think I helped you, and you're a regular seller, you could type in your comments, questions, and concerns, and I will address them next week. Remember, I am a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind, and I'm making money online. Thanks for watching. Go out there, make it a good day, and don't be fishy. Peace. Yeah. I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it.